I bought 19 pounds of untested Wiimotes. Let's get it on the table. Let's organize it. 16 of these silicone covers, a couple of random cables, 5 WeMotion Plus, a couple more random things that don't belong, 4 different rechargeable batteries, one of these plug-in classic controllers, 14 different nunchucks, a Wii stand, a couple of batteries, and I didn't take all the batteries out of these yet. And then we're down to the actual Wiimotes. First of all, we have 5 non-Nintendo off-brand, probably won't even do anything with those. Then we have these 2 black, and these 27 white standard Wiimotes. Original release, they work, but they're not as good as what we have here in the front row. This is what I'm excited about, and this is what I'm going to put the bulk of my time on. These 18 are all WeMotion Plus included. If you're going to use a Wii, this is the way you want to go today. Better motion controls, and not only that, but obviously all of our special editions are in here. Here we're dealing with our first one that has battery corrosion. I'm going to try to pop these out of here. And that's definitely going to benefit from the deep clean. And this last one, I'm expecting a little bit of work as well. Kind of hard to see in there, but it looks like a little bit of water damage, corrosion. I think, especially for the white ones, I might be able to do better than some of these. This one's a little worn, but it's also unique. It's the only one I have with both the red and the blue. All right, I believe these are the 6 best. We're gonna put those with the others. The last thing that I wanna check is the backs, just to make sure that I don't have any of these that are better, and also try to get a couple more for the blacks. All right, no luck finding any of the fancy button ones, but we do have a couple more black backs, one more white, and I think we have what we need to begin testing. All right, this is the first one that we have with no response. So I'm gonna put a sticker on this and mark it, and we'll move on. Honestly, I didn't expect this one to work, so cool. Hopefully a good clean will give us this special edition one in good shape. All right, so we've got some funny stuff going on with this one. It's kind of temperamental how it connects. It wants to do stuff I'm not telling it to do, so definitely gonna get probably a yellow sticker on this one, and we'll try to see what's going on when we take it apart. Nice, I'm gonna call that a win, because this is the one I want the most. One more for the red sticker pile. So this one looks like it's trying to connect, but it is not successfully connecting. So I'll put another yellow sticker on here and mark it for what it's doing. One away from the end and another one that isn't working. Bummer. I was really hoping that one of these blue ones at least would work. Looks like we're gonna have to put some extra love and attention into trying to get this one in the winning circle. I do need to test this one last nunchuck though. Okay, good. But one last thing that we can't forget, we need to test that controller over there. All right, everything seems to be working on this. As I keep whittling this down, I get more and more into focus. These are obviously going to be cleaned and hopefully still work at the end of that process. But we have these 5 right now that have risen to the forefront of needing attention. So for now, I'm going to set these 5 aside. For all the rest of this, we're gonna completely disassemble everything, give it a good clean, and try to get it all back together working. Altogether, this is just going to be so much disassembly work, so rather than showing you everything, I will put the camera back on if I come across anything interesting. I've taken 4 of them apart so far, and they're really not that dirty. But I did want to show you one here that's the reason why I do this full disassembly and deep clean. And it's this right here. Finger cheese. Gross. Just want to point out that I've taken apart these identical looking black Wiimotes, and out of the 5 of them, there are actually 3 different styles of these motherboards. The ones on the end and the one in the middle look the same, and then both of these, while having some similarities, are also a little bit different from each other. I'll have to look up and see if these are all Nintendo original. This is one that I can see a lot of corrosion in. I'm expecting it to be quite a bit worse. Let's take it apart. In order to take the faceplate off of here, we need to kind of pry underneath here and pull it out from some clips on the side. I find that I break them less often if I put a little bit of heat on them and get the plastic a little bit less brittle. There we go, let's take a look. Yeah, we can tell. I'm actually surprised this was a working one, but take a look at this. That's really corroded under there. Right under the contact point here for the 1 and 2 buttons. Pretty gross. Let's get all the rest of this off here. All right, now this can just ideally pull right out. There we go. So it's definitely an issue from battery corrosion that just kind of leaked in here. So we'll clean this one up. For some reason, this blue one has Phillips screws. Okay, pretty much the same as the Wiimote now. This just faceplate kind of pops off of here. And actually, that was supposed to be more difficult than that. I typically would heat it up and pry it loose, but getting the bottom part here, which is the easy part, the top just kind of came with it. Oh, but I keep forgetting about stuff. We have this remote. So let's see what it looks like on the inside. This black one that wasn't working, I may see what the problem is. Quite a bit of corrosion that's built up right around here on this pin. I'm not a repair technician, so I'm not exactly sure, but I am curious to see if it works after I clean that. This blue one has some blue corrosion in it from the battery, so pretty sure that's not helping things. Cleaning it might not get it to work, but it's not gonna hurt, so we'll have to find out with this one. Last one here finally, and this is the one that was glitchy, doing things I wasn't telling it to do. And similar to some of the other ones that weren't working, we have some corrosion up here, so that may be the cause. We're gonna have to clean it and find out. In fact, we're gonna have to clean all this stuff and find out. It's a lot of cleaning. All right, I want to check these boards out under the microscope now. If I were running a repair business or doing this to try to sell them, this would simply not be worth my time. These Wiimotes are not worth enough for me to put this kind of time into trying to fix one up like this. But for the sake of a YouTube video, maybe then it's worth it. Not feeling super optimistic about this board right now. Maybe I would want to be a dental hygienist. This is what that adhesive bond looks like that's on top of these chips when they have a little pad attached. Glue is way more fibrous than I would have thought it is. Most of these are already pretty clean, but there are some areas where the grossness has collected down in the cracks. I like using this paintbrush just to give it a nice gentle clean that tends to get in all the little grooves. And this is gonna take a while, so let's just get it done. Okay friends, as much as I would love to show you every single step of the process of cleaning all this, it's just so much. And I can't figure out how to do it. I mean, I could speed up the whole thing, but even at like 300 times speed, it's going to be such a long process. Also, my back is gonna get sore, my shoulders are gonna ache, I have to keep my head out of the frame of the camera, and then I have all the tiny little pieces to clean also. In order to help me get through it, and in order to help you get on with the video, I'm just gonna skip to the end, and during the meantime, I'm gonna clean off camera, put YouTube on in the background, and continue making my way through Red Nova Tyrant's playthrough of Octopath Traveler 2. I'll see you on the other side of the clean. All right, the easy part's done. Now we've gotta clean all those tiny little pieces. These are looking pretty good. Typically I would go through and wash every single one of these by hand with my toothbrush, but I want to be able to use my joints and fingers when I'm done. So I'm not going to do that today. Instead, I'm just going to kind of give all of it a stir and just go over it with the brush a bunch here inside of this water. We'll rinse it off, dry it off when we're all done, take a good look at it, and if we need to, we'll consider the next step of cleaning individually on pieces that didn't get clean. Yeah, I think this is doing the trick for this level of dirty. We have just a few things left. One of them is all of these. I was thinking about cleaning them all by hand, but I think I have a better idea. I am going to take all of these home, put them in a mesh laundry bag that I have, and run them through the wash. So I'll just bring these back after and show you what they look like. Then we have a few of these speakers. Only a couple of them look dirty, and it's this piece right here that's meant to collect anything that would go in and get on the speaker, and you can see it did its job. I'm gonna look for a clean one of these that's in a non-working Wiimote that I have to just replace it. Even though these two were working, we do have some battery corrosion to clean, and this is the end of our cleaning process. After we get rid of this, we're gonna be able to put these things back together and see how they all work. How is this working? Maybe whatever this chip operates wasn't working and I just didn't test it. Because I don't see how this one is functioning. This one inspired me to get under the microscope one more time, and I don't want to be too aggressive here because, like I said, my test on this one worked, but man, this is just a lot of battery gunk, and I can't just leave it there. So I'm just gently kind of rubbing the big chunks. Then we'll go over it again with the brush and the IPA a few times through the process, and we can get most of this corrosion, at least the stuff that hasn't penetrated the board. Okay, that's the first round of gently picking and brushing. You can see underneath, I can start to kind of scrape away this coating that's on top of the board, which for the most part is just identification stuff and protectant against corrosion, but it's still not something that I want to remove if possible. If this one ends up not working after I'm done when it was working before, I'll take those lumps for the learning experience. You know, it's just hard to leave stuff like this, even when you know it's working. Perhaps here is where you can tell me if I scraped too far. Just trying to remove this stuff off of here and oops. Is that important? Seems like it is. Why would it be there? Is it just color? No, I feel like that's something connective and metallic, and we'll have to find out. Obviously, we have a lot of reassembly to figure out here, so let's get it done. If you ever have a bunch of these to clean, I would highly recommend getting one of those mesh laundry bags. Throw them in there with your towels. These came out amazing. And they smell good too. I want to speed this process along. Reunite us. Huh. That's convenient. It's helpful when it actually improves your life. This is it, we're done. They are clean, they are tested. Only 3 of them don't work, everything else is aces. What do you think I should do with these now that they're all clean? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy watching me do a similar project on a big pile of Joy-Cons. I'll leave a link for you right down here at the bottom. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time.